So, a few things to talk about today. Um, we've got the July 4th holiday coming up. It is a Monday. So, since it's a Monday and Memorial Day was a Monday, we're doing the exact same thing that we did for that. So, you're eating as much advance as possible. Farmer's Forum will be Friday night. DL will be due early on Monday. We will have to do Rochester's entire print edition on Sunday. Um, I've already cleared everything with Modulist. I've talked to most of the editors involved. I just have to follow up a little bit with the Lakes group to make sure they're getting stuff in on time. I believe the calendar is updated for everyone on both teams. So please make sure you check to see if you are working the 4th. Questions on holidays? This will also be the plan for Labor Day. I'll just tell you all that in advance, that since that's a Monday as well, makes it all much easier for us. In sad news, for us, good for him, I guess, Ben Grundhauser has been hired as the night editor for the forum. So he'll be working the rest of this week and then all of next week with us still. And then he will move to working for the forum 2 to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday. For the first few weeks after he moves over, he will still handle all the budgeting of the forum, so that we have that off our plate while we are figuring out what the plan looks like. His position has already been posted. That job application is live. If any of you know anyone who would be a good fit, tell them to apply and make sure you fill out that. There's a referral form with HR that then if they get hired, then you can get some money. So that. Okay, so a couple of things. We discussed just some areas where we are having some just sort of communication shortfalls right now, and we talked through some potential solutions. One thing we're going to do is right now we have a design team room and we have a pod people room, and we're just going to combine those into one room. So that way, every time somebody goes to lunch, so then they say in their group room that they're going to lunch, and then they also have to say it in, the North Dakota room and the Central room and the South room, because they have a few pages from each of those. And we just decided it would make more sense if we just combined our group rooms. Nothing goes on in either room that the other people can't see. So it just seems like it would make communication easier. And also then you don't have to put, multiple times that you're going to lunch. We also talked about the budget, making sure that you put your name on the budget for pod members, for whatever content you're linking. And that includes advanced. Right now, we're not seeing people putting their name on there if they linked all the advanced. And so then, somebody would be working on the news section and people will be asking them questions about advanced, but they're not the ones who put together that life section and can answer those questions. So make sure you're doing that. And then designers, make sure that you're putting what pages you have. So that way, if something is adjusted or changed on one of those pages, it's really easy for the pod person to figure out who they need to talk to about that. Questions on any of that? Okay. And then I'd like your opinion on this. This is one thing we talked about also is when it comes to optional content, some pod editors, just like say, I have optional content, so let me know what you need. And then they move stuff to page by page on the budget as it's requested based on, jumps and obits and stuff like that. And then some pod editors, under one page will just put, here's the 8 optional stories that we have. Use whatever fits, and you can move something to a different page if you've got extra space there. So they're just all there for designers rather than having to ask or guess what the leftover space is going to look like exactly. So which of those kind of methods, designers, do you feel like works best for you? Yep, Meredith?
I'm obviously not the design side right now, but It seems to vary by publication because some section and publication is some publications are very particular about which pages, which type of content go in which pages. So I tend to um, do it the second way for most news sections, but for sports, it does seem to be easier to be like place all the local stuff, and then on B2 or B3, whatever, then you can say optional fill for anywhere in the section and just specify. I mean, I'd like to hear from designers on that, but um, that's kind of how I do it. And it's easier for me to hold off on giving fill until I know how everything falls. And I've got my fill on standby, knowing that certain types of contents can or can't go certain places. So as long as I'm here and responsive, that's how I prefer to do it for those.
Okay. Alex posted content. I feel if it's all placed at once, but also it's marked under pages that might need the content where it can be found, that might be easier. So if I'm understanding correctly, that's, if we know that 4 and 8 both have jumps, but might need filler, but we put the filler under 10 because that's where obits are. Then under 4 and 8, put optional content linked under A10. All right. Other thoughts? Yeah, Jack.
I think sometimes I'm wary of putting all of the content on if there's an open page, just because sometimes there's been some situations where I want to save a page in case we need jumps, and then it turns out we do need the jumps and it's already been sent. So I kind of like to wait until a little bit later to put it on there. I mean, maybe it's better to put it on there and just say, don't use this unless we like. Maybe if we designate like, okay, use this only if we don't need it for jumps, but just don't send that page away. Because I've had that situation happen a couple times where, oh, we need to rearrange because there's some problem with the jumps and the page has already been sent and it's too late in some cases. So maybe we just need better communication about like if there's like a page that's like a B4 for sports or whatever, and I know we try and get those way early because we need to, but sometimes they're just like, oh, Mitchell turned in a 2,000 word story, looked at 1,000 words over budget, which has happened before, and they need extra jump space. Then we have like some major issues. So I don't know. Maybe I think we should just communicate about that a little bit more, and maybe the pod editors we can do a better job of saying don't send this just yet because we might need it for jumps because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because I mark pages hold for possible jump space, and then have the filler anyway.
That's probably the way to go then.
Yeah, just hold for jumps or hold for obits. I think that seems reasonable. Anyone else have thoughts? You can talk or you can type it into messages. So, okay, well, let's give that a shot then. Just kind of getting that optional onto the budget where possible. As Meredith said, some of our, especially with the weeklies, they have kind of, this is only supposed to go on this page and this goes on this page. So it's not as workable there, but for a lot of our papers, it is. So let's do that. Make sure that you mark on the pages where designers can look for that optional content. Designers, if all the optional content is listed under A10, and then you put one of the stories on A4 to fill in after jumps, please make sure that you copy and cut and paste that budget line onto 4. So it shows that it's on page 4 and it's not in that list anymore, so that nobody thinks they can still grab it on that list and put it on a different page. Okay. Meredith?
I just wanted to add, if you know that the optional content is listed in order of priority, put that on the budget so the designers know.
Okay. Jack?
I just want to know, like, where's the best place, like, if we do a thing where it says optional content as needed to fill page or whatever, where's the best place to put that for the designers to know? Like, if you guys, like, is there, like, do you want it at the bottom of the budget, or do you want it at the top so you see it? Like, where's the best place to find it so you're not, like, asking questions, so we're not I don't put it in the wrong place, just so we know where it is. That would be helpful just to know maybe a standard place to put it, so we don't miss anything.
What about up in the key? You know, where it says ready, you know, page 1 ready, and then like optional filler under us. And then we just pick a page. Would that work for designers?
Yeah, I think that's probably fine. I know when I do it, it tends to always end up under the last page of the section. But yeah, I think noting it up in the key is a good idea. You know, optional content listed here, something like that would be useful. So, and then on the optional content, let's make sure that we're also noting if something can be trimmed, or you know, if the photos are optional, that kind of thing. So that way, when designers are trying to figure out space, they have an idea of what changes they can make to that copy and have it work. So, all right. Any questions on anything else today? Questions, comments, suggestions, things we should talk about? Okay. Well, yeah, everybody, please go and check the July 4th calendar so you know what you're working. And if you have any questions or concerns about that, for the pod, message me. For the hub, send a message to Emily. So, oh, and Emily, you were going to show us one thing in Slack, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. I have to do a stupid thing to get my webcam to activate. So like, but I can talk you through it if you want.
It's okay. I'll show you a thing in Slack. Hang on a second. All right. So one thing we're going to ask is when you go on your break or something like that, to make sure that you update your Slack status. So I just wanted to make sure that you all know how to do that. You go up here to your little icon, click on it, and then if you click here, you can put whatever status you want. Click on the icon to make it a different icon. So now you can do that. Say it's lunch. Thereafter 1 hour, and then just hit save, and then that will, you know, then the cheese will appear next to your name, and if somebody hovers over it, it will say lunch. That way it just makes it clear no matter who's talking to you, whether they saw you say that you're going to lunch or not, you know, because then you have that icon next to you. You know, so for designers, if you're working on a graphic, you know, you can pick I guess whatever the graphic is best reflected by, stuff like that. Just make sure that you're updating your status on there. If you are, you know, on vacation for the week, you can change it to vacation, and also pause your notifications. You're not getting notifications while you're on vacation, but then people know also that you're gone. So if somebody tries to message you, then they're like, oh, right, she's not here. Any questions on that? All right. Well, with that, then we will call this meeting done. Thank you all for being here. If you think of any questions or anything later, let me know. Bye.